there are some victories that feel like just another win. And then there are victories that feel like the beginning of something much bigger. For Carson Kvapil, that moment finally arrived at one of the most historic venues in all of motorsports, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. In a race filled with pressure, strategy, speed, and late race drama, Carson Kvapil delivered the performance he had been chasing for a long time. The young JR Motorsports driver finally found victory lane. And this wasn't just any victory. It was Carson Kvapil's first career win in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. After coming so close on multiple occasions, after experiencing the frustration of leading races and watching victory slip away, Kvapil finally had his moment. And when the checkered flag waved at Indianapolis, a new chapter in his NASCAR career officially began. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're breaking down the story of Carson Kvapil's breakthrough victory at Indianapolis, how the race unfolded, the pressure he faced, and why this win could be one of the most important moments of his young career. The road to victory lane had not been easy for Carson Kvapil. The 23-year-old driver entered the 2026 season with plenty of expectations surrounding his name. Kvapil had already shown that he had the talent to compete at the front of the field. But there is a huge difference between being fast and actually winning. Throughout his career, Kvapil had experienced the highs of running near the front and the disappointment of falling just short. He had already demonstrated his potential in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. In fact, his rookie season with JR Motorsports ended with him reaching the championship four, proving that he belonged among the best young drivers in the series. But entering Indianapolis, there was still one thing missing: a win. And when you are a driver with championship-level potential, that first victory can begin to feel like a weight on your shoulders. Every race becomes another opportunity. Every restart becomes another chance. Every time you run inside the top 5, you start thinking about victory lane. For Kvapil, that pressure had been building, and Indianapolis provided the perfect stage to finally break through. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway is a place where history surrounds every lap. The massive 2.5-mile oval has hosted some of the biggest moments in racing history. And for the drivers competing in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, racing at Indianapolis brings a unique challenge. The track demands patience. It demands precision. And it rewards drivers who can manage their tires while staying aggressive enough to attack when the opportunity appears. Before the race even began, the competition was intense. The field included experienced drivers and some of the biggest names in NASCAR. Justin Allgaier was once again a major threat. Sam Mayer was quick. Ross Chastain brought his aggressive style. Chase Elliott was also part of a field loaded with talent. And Kvapil knew that simply having a fast car would not be enough. He needed to put together an entire race, from the opening laps to the final restart. Every decision mattered. As the race got underway, the battle at the front quickly became intense. Drivers searched for the best line around the Indianapolis oval. Some preferred the lower groove. Others looked for momentum higher on the track. And as the laps continued to click away, the race began to develop into a battle of patience. Kvapil remained focused. He wasn't interested in making a desperate move too early. He knew there would be opportunities later. The key was to stay in position, stay out of trouble, and make sure the car was still capable of fighting when the race reached its most important moments. That approach was critical, because at Indianapolis, races can change in seconds. A small mistake can cost multiple positions. A bad restart can destroy an entire afternoon. And one perfectly timed move can completely change the outcome. Kvapil had experienced the disappointment of coming close before. This time, he needed to make sure he was ready when his opportunity arrived. As the race progressed, the pressure continued to rise. The leaders fought for track position. The pit crews went to work. Crew chiefs studied the changing race conditions. And every lap brought the drivers closer to the moment when strategy would become just as important as raw speed. For JR Motorsports, the pressure was enormous. The organization knew exactly what Kvapil was capable of. They had watched him develop. They had seen him win in other forms of racing. They had seen him compete at the highest level of the O'Reilly Series. But now, the question was simple. Could they finally put everything together? Could Carson Kvapil finally close the deal? The answer would come at Indianapolis. As the race entered its crucial stages, Kvapil continued to put himself in position. He wasn't simply surviving. He was fighting. He was charging. And he was proving that this could finally be his day. But standing between Kvapil and his first career victory was one of the toughest competitors in the field, Justin Allgaier. Allgaier had been one of the dominant forces in the series throughout the season. He had the experience. He had the speed. And he knew exactly how to handle pressure late in a race. For Kvapil, the challenge could not have been bigger. One driver was searching for another win. The other was searching for his first. The battle represented two very different stories. Experience against youth. A proven winner against a driver desperate to prove that he belonged in victory lane. And as the laps wound down, the intensity reached another level. Every corner became more important. Every restart became more dangerous. Every position mattered. Kvapil had to remain aggressive, but he couldn't afford to overdrive the car. This was the moment where patience could make the difference. One mistake could erase everything. One perfect move could create history. And when the final opportunity arrived, Kvapil was ready. He charged forward. He fought for position. And he refused to let the opportunity disappear. The final laps became a battle of nerve. The pressure inside the car must have been enormous. But Kvapil stayed focused on the task. Get to the finish. Hold the position. Win the race. And then came the moment every driver dreams about. The checkered flag. Carson Kvapil had done it. He had finally won. His first career NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series victory. After all the close calls. After all the frustration. After all the races where he had been competitive but couldn't quite finish the job. This time, there was no disappointment. There was no second-place finish. There was no wondering what might have happened if he had one more lap. This time, Carson Kvapil was the winner, and the emotion immediately began to show. For a young driver who had spent so much time chasing this moment, the victory meant far more than simply adding a number to his statistics. It was validation. It was proof that the hard work was paying off. And perhaps most importantly, it was a reminder that patience can eventually turn into success. The celebration inside the JR Motorsports camp was emotional. Crew chief Rodney Childers, who helped guide Kvapil to the breakthrough victory, described the achievement as extremely special. For the team, this was a moment they had been waiting for. And for Kvapil, the emotion of finally winning was impossible to hide. This was a driver who had already shown flashes of greatness. Now, he had the trophy to prove it, and the timing could not have been better. Indianapolis is not just another track. It is one of the most recognizable names in motorsports. Winning there creates memories that can last a lifetime. For Kvapil, this victory will forever be connected to the place where he finally broke through. But the biggest question now is simple. What comes next? Because the most dangerous thing about a driver getting his first win is what can happen afterward. Confidence changes everything. A driver who once wondered whether he could win now knows exactly what it feels like. The pressure is different. The mindset is different. And the belief inside the team is different. Kvapil no longer has to answer questions about whether he can close out a race. He has done it. He no longer has to wonder whether he belongs in victory lane. He belongs there. And that could make him an even bigger threat in the races ahead. The 2026 season has already demonstrated just how competitive the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series can be. Young drivers are making their presence known. Experienced veterans continue to fight at the front. And every week brings another opportunity for someone to make history. Carson Kvapil's victory at Indianapolis adds another important chapter to that story. But for Kvapil himself, this may be more than just one race. This could be the beginning of a new phase in his career. The pressure of chasing that first win is finally gone. Now the goal changes. Now he has to prove that Indianapolis was not a one-time breakthrough. He has to show that he can win again. He has to fight for more trophies, and eventually he has to turn those victories into championship success. Considering what he has already accomplished, that future looks promising. Kvapil has already shown that he can compete. He has already shown that he can run at the front. And now he has shown that he can finish the job. That's a dangerous combination. And that's why this victory could be so important. Because sometimes the first win is the hardest. The first time you climb into victory lane, there are questions. Can I do it? Can the team do it? Can we hold off the competition? Can we perform when everything is on the line? Carson Kvapil answered every one of those questions at Indianapolis. Yes, he can. And now everyone knows it. The story of this race will not simply be remembered as another result from the 2026 season. It will be remembered as the day Carson Kvapil finally became a NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series winner. A young driver, a determined team, a historic racetrack, and a victory that had been a long time coming. For JR Motorsports, it was another proud moment. For Carson Kvapil, it was a dream finally realized. And for NASCAR fans, it was another reminder of why racing is so unpredictable. Because sometimes the driver who has been waiting the longest gets the biggest moment. Sometimes the near misses make the victory even sweeter. And sometimes all it takes is one perfect day. At Indianapolis, Carson Kvapil finally got his. The first win is now in the books. The trophy is in victory lane. The pressure is gone. But the journey is just beginning. Because if this Indianapolis victory taught us anything, it's that Carson Kvapil is no longer simply a driver searching for his breakthrough. He is now a winner, and the rest of the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series has officially been put on notice. Carson Kvapil has arrived, and if this is only the beginning, the next chapter could be even more exciting. So, what do you think? Was Carson Kvapil's Indianapolis victory the beginning of a future championship run? And how many more wins do you think he can collect before the 2026 season is over? And if you enjoyed this NASCAR story, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because there are plenty more NASCAR stories, race recaps, and breaking moments coming your way. Until next time, keep watching, keep racing, and we'll see you in the next one. Our Carson Kvapil in emotional win at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.